Well, damn. Safe to say that was one of the craziest nights in Heat history. One that, truthfully, I was not prepared for. I don't even know how I'm going to go about this video or really the next several videos for this channel. As if you didn't hear, the Miami Heat beat the Philadelphia 76ers today. Screw that team, bro. That sloppy fat boy Joel Embiid. That bum Paul George, Tyrese Maxey. That boy pretty good. You know who else is pretty good? My new favorite player, best 3-and-D wing in the league, Andrew Wiggins. Can I get some love for Kyle Anderson in the chat? Yeah, of course, that's right. What I'm alluding to is during the game. I think it was in the middle of the second quarter. The Miami Heat traded Jimmy Butler. Now, you know Pat Riley, he's getting up there in age, and the thing about older people is sometimes they like to take naps. They can't control when they wake up. They got all kinds of weird hours. And for some reason, Pat Riley decided to wake up in the middle of the second quarter and trade Jimmy Butler then. Because the trade deadline is tomorrow. I'm recording this at 10 p.m. on February 5th, just about 10 minutes after the Heat versus 76ers game concluded. And of course, the trade deadline is it's at 3 p.m. on February 6th. And I was fully prepared to have like a live stream ready for when the news broke and have graphics and videos and all kind of stuff. I didn't have time to do that because the trade broke in the middle of the game. And how I found out is I'm watching the game. I'm watching it on my laptop because my boy Thomas is watching De'Aaron Fox debut on the TV. And I was curious too, so I was keeping tabs on it in the background. But I'm on, obviously, my computer, and I get the notification from my guy Will, who says, no KD, with a heartbroke emoji. So I'm like, why? Did KD get traded? Did Chris Haynes come out and say the Warriors are keeping KD, or the Suns are keeping KD? What happened? And then I opened Twitter to see the Shams bomb that Jimmy Butler was indeed traded to the Golden State Warriors. And at the time, it said for Wiggins and Schroeder and a protected first-round pick and Kyle Anderson. And obviously, there was like 9 different variations of that over the course of the next hour. And things still might keep changing, as I guess I should mention that he ended up trading Jimmy Butler for, we'll go through the official trade, I guess, as it stands right now. So it was a 5-team deal, or it was a 5-team deal, and then Toronto backed out. See, I don't even know how to do this video. I'm going crazy over here, bro. And I'm also very sad because I love Jimmy Butler, bro. I'm not going to get rid of this jersey. If you already commented that down below, well, you can leave it because all comments help the algorithm. But leave another comment apologizing because Jimmy Butler means something to me, damn it. And it is a signed jersey too, so it's pretty cool. But anyways, let's go through the package and then kind of how the nights went, and then maybe we'll get into the game a little bit because there was some good things as well. So the package, I believe off the top of my head, is the Miami Heat received Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, a top 10 protected first-round pick from the Warriors this season, and PJ Tucker. Okay, so the Heat get Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, top 10 protected pick from the Warriors this season, and PJ Tucker. The Golden State Warriors get Jimmy Butler. The Detroit Pistons get Josh Richardson and I think someone else. And the Utah Jazz get Dennis Schroeder. But originally it came out that the Raptors were supposed to be the 5th team and they were supposed to get Kyle Anderson. But then for some reason that part fell through. So how the hell do you have a deal that's agreed upon and then it falls through at the last second? That doesn't make no sense. So now the Heat are stuck with Kyle Anderson. Now, quick summary of kind of the implications of all these deals and all this stuff. We will have a more formal and well thought out video probably tomorrow when maybe we get some more news finalized and we'll kind of go through everyone's contracts and the tax implications and all that. But just a quick summary of kind of everything. So Andrew Wiggins, Heat fans are happy. They like the fit. I get it. You know, if he can kind of get back to that all-star level that he was a couple seasons ago, he is pretty close this year. I think he's averaging like 17 points per game on relatively efficient shooting. He's only 29 years old, although he turns 30 in a couple of weeks. So he's not super young. He's not super old. He doesn't quite fit the timeline, but he's a good in-between piece. Now, the reason I kind of didn't want him is just because he makes $26 million this year, $28 next year, and then he has a $30 million player option the year after that. Now, depending on how he plays, that will obviously influence whether he decides to opt in or out of that final year. If he opts out, well, now that he got some room to work within that 2026 free agency, should a Luka become available and not re-sign with the Lakers or whatever. You know, for all we know, Luka could sign an extension as soon as he's eligible, and then we won't have to even worry about 2026 free agency. But there's too many variables there to really worry about that last year with Wiggins right now. So I'll just deal with it. If he plays well here, I'll be happy. And if anything, he'll be an expiring contract that year. And $30 million is not super unmovable when you got a lot of players now in today's NBA, players of Wiggins' caliber that will be making in the $50 million range. So the $30 million, I don't think will be looked at as too bad a contract in his final season. And then as far as PJ Tucker, he obviously is on the last year of his deal because he's like 45. I feel good for him. We know that he's always wanted to come back here since he left, and he is making $11.5 million this season. Now, some Heat fans are mad because they're saying, why would the Heat keep PJ's $11.5 million expiring when they could have kept Dennis Schroeder's $13 million expiring? Because obviously the Heat need a point guard that could use a Dennis Schroeder. Although Terry Rozier kind of balled out today. I appreciate you, Terry, for getting your trade value up the day before the deadline. Good on you. Because hopefully the Heat can move Terry Rozier, and then the deadline will be a real win. But yeah, I guess maybe the Heat just wanted to save that $1.5 million. If they were able to move Kyle Anderson, they would have been about $1 million under the first apron, which is critical because then you have not only the roster spot that Kyle Anderson is now taking up, but you also would have been eligible to use above the mid-level exception to sign a player in the buyout market, which really, really gives you a huge competitive edge when it comes to the buyout market. And there's sometimes some good players in there. I don't know who as of yet. I'd really have to sit down and think about it. We were hoping Lonzo Ball might get bought out or get traded here, but I should mention he also signed an extension with the Bulls during the game. He signed for a 2-year, $20 million extension with the Bulls, so that is pretty good value for the Bulls if Lonzo was able to stay healthy. But yeah, we'll have to obviously look into the buyout market as things get closer, but hopefully the Heat can still move on from Kyle Anderson because then that would get them under the first apron and they would have a lot more flexibility. And even within the rules, they would have advantages over some teams when signing guys in the buyout market. So that's why maybe the Heat preferred PJ over Dennis Schroeder. If they didn't plan on keeping either guy, you're not going to win a championship this year with either guy. So at least getting PJ does save you about $1.5 million. And then as far as Kyle Anderson, as of now, they have him. He makes about $9 million this year and next year. With the year after that, he's also under contract, but it is non-guaranteed. I don't understand if it's a team option or what the deal is there. It didn't say on Spotrac, but it is not guaranteed. So I've been kind of told to look at Kyle Anderson as a 2-year, $9 million deal, which is not terrible. The guy, I guess, makes me feel good about myself because he's called slow-mo, and he might be one of the fewest people in the world that's slower than me when they hoop. So I guess he kind of is a bit of a motivation for me. Although my shot is crystal smooth, baby. And that boy got a janky-ass release. But anyways, he's not someone that gets me excited. He's playing like 15 minutes a night for the Warriors. He's an okay rebounder. He used to be an okay defender back in his day, but I think he's like 31 now. So not super old, but he's on the wrong side of 30, averaging like 6 points per game. Not a great three-point shooter. Not someone that you should be excited about. Maybe a good vet presence, I guess. But the Heat are certainly trying to move on from him and get under that first apron like they did with Toronto until that trade somehow fell through. Maybe it fell through because I just get the report that the Raptors are on the verge of potentially getting Brandon Ingram. It said that the Hawks and Raptors are the two final teams in the Brandon Ingram sweepstakes. So obviously that'll be something to keep our eyes on also. But then as far as the draft pick that the Miami Heat got, it's a 2025 top 10 protected pick. Now, that means that if the Warriors draft pick finishes in the top 10, they keep it, and then the pick goes into next season. Now, if next season that pick is in the top 10 again, the Warriors keep it again, I don't know what happens after that. A lot of times, if a pick falls within the protections for back-to-back years, it turns from 1 first-round pick to 2 second-round picks in the following year. Obviously, I hope that's not the case. I don't want second-round picks. I would like the first-round picks. Although I guess that still means that the Heat would have another year to trade the pick or whatever in 2026 before they even have to worry about it being 2 seconds. But either way, it's good that it's not lottery protected because it is highly likely that the Warriors pick can still finish between 11 and 14. So maybe the Heat still do get a lottery pick because as of right now, I think the Warriors were like 10th, but they were like 2 games back of 6th and like 2 games back of like 12th. So there's a lot of disparity in the NBA Western Conference right now, so we don't know where the Warriors will land. But as of things stand right now, there's a chance that that pick could finish in the lottery, but not top 10, which obviously will be huge for the Heat because the Heat, that'd be a great trade asset, or they can get someone in the 11 to 14 range in a draft that I'm told is very, very deep. So not terrible, not terrible. But we'll just have to see what happens with the Warriors. You don't want them to be terrible, and you also don't want them to be that good, because ideally they finish in that 11 to 14 range. But that's pretty much everything as far as the assets. I guess we kind of talked about the how everything sort of happened here. Jimmy Butler, I guess he did sign an extension with the Warriors right away. We should talk about that. He signed, which is originally it was reported by Shams, a 2-year, $121 million, which would have been like $60.5 million a year. But then they ended up saying that it was only like $110 million, which I believe Jimmy, but the final numbers were Jimmy's going to be making about $54 million next year and $56 million the year after that. So if you want to look at this as a win for Jimmy Butler, I suppose it is. He wanted his money. He certainly got it. It just is interesting that he decided to sign that extension, because if he would have not signed it, he could have got like a 4-year deal with them. But instead he opts for the 2-year extension. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just going through my notes here. I saved a bunch of tweets. I guess we kind of should have had some inclination this was going to happen, because before the Warriors game started, Steve Kerr took all the players to the locker room, because I guess the trade broke right before their game was about to start. And then, of course, we got the news. Then we got the news we weren't keeping Dennis Schroeder. And then we got the news Josh Richardson was going to Detroit. And if y'all didn't see, there was a hilarious fan video at the game in Philly where someone was sitting behind the Heat bench and broke the news to Kevin Love. And you saw Jaime being shocked. You saw Tyler Hero smiling. That video is hilarious. Y'all got to go see that. It's everywhere online. But then we got the news that the Heat also got PJ Tucker. And then what else? What other news did we get here? We got the news that the pick was in 2025, top 10 protected. And now Shams sent out a couple tweets basically saying the Heat are still looking to move Kyle Anderson. So all these situations are very fluid until anything is officially announced. More teams can always be added in to sort of work themselves out of trade. And then we also got the news that Jimmy Butler will be wearing number 10. So that'll be a little bit interesting there. I'll just scroll through my Twitter one more time here to make sure that I didn't miss nothing else news. Yeah, it was funny, or no other news. It was funny during the game. The Eric Reed and John Crotty can't really address it because it's not official. But Eric Reed basically said, if you don't follow Shams, go follow Shams. I see now that obviously Eric Spoelstra, he's not allowed to talk about it in the press conference. I saw it was funny in the halftime show. Will Mansa wasn't allowed to talk about it. But yeah, it's still going to be interesting tomorrow. Maybe the Heat could still move Duncan. Maybe they can move Terry. Maybe they can move Kyle Anderson. Adam Barais here on Twitter saying that maybe even they move Andrew Wiggins. But it will be an interesting day tomorrow. Nonetheless, I need to dedicate a whole video to what Jimmy Butler means to me. Because it didn't end great. Obviously, everybody's acknowledging that. But it was a fun 5 years, man. And he will always be one of my favorite players ever. That's why the jersey's obviously going to stay up. But it's just like, I was a kid watching LeBron. You know, he came here in 2010. I was 12 years old. So I watched him every game from the ages 12 to 16. And he was a superhero in my eyes, you know, as a younger kid. But Jimmy Butler, I was watching him from the ages of 22 to 26. And as a grown adult, a guy with a 401k and a mortgage and taxes, Jimmy Butler still made me feel like anything was possible. Like, he made me believe in superhuman ability. That's how awesome Jimmy Butler was. And I will never, ever forget those moments and never, ever take for granted the fact that he took us out of mediocrity. I love Jimmy Butler, bro. Damn, bro. This is sad. So sad it had to end this way, man. And just all the games are rushing through my mind, whether it's the Game 6 in 2022 in Boston where he pulled a LeBron, or the 2 triple-doubles in the 2020 finals, or the games versus Milwaukee in 2023. 2 finals runs here, endless moments, all the memes and just his relationship with Spoelstra and all the guys was so great for so long. And it sucks that it went sour, but that's the reality of life, y'all. That's just how it goes. Looks like the New York Knicks just traded Jericho Sims to the Bucks. Don't care. But it sucks, man. I got a lot of videos throughout the years of me reacting to Jimmy game winners and stuff, and even videos of me celebrating when they went to the finals in 2020 and 2023. I got to make some sort of compilation eventually to really pay my dues to Jimmy Butler, I suppose. But we'll save that for another day. As far as we should say, the Golden State Warriors come to town on March 25th to Miami. I gotta go. I'm gonna buy my tickets the second I'm done hitting record, or the second I'm done hitting upload on this video. March 25th is a Tuesday. I live in Fort Myers. I work, but I'll have to make it work to be at that game because it's gonna be a movie. Woo, assuming Jimmy Butler plays. Should I buy my tickets now before they get more expensive, or should I wait to make sure Jimmy doesn't get hurt or nothing? Now, knowing Jimmy, he'll be there. He could have 2 broken ankles. He's playing in that return to Miami, and he's probably going to drop like a 45-point quadruple double, something crazy. But anyways, it was good news that the Heat at least got a win today. I started taking some notes at the beginning. Obviously didn't care, to continue doing that. Didn't watch most of the second quarter or third quarter, but we did see the fourth quarter, which was a clutch finish. It was nice to see Bam Adebayo take over. Another aggressive game for him, 8 of 16 from the field, 18 points, 13 boards. Khalil Ware was impactful, although he didn't score. You love to see that. He had 0 points but 13 rebounds, something that he should have had because the 76ers starting front court was like Yabusele at the 5 and Oubre at the 4. So Bam and Ware should have dominated, and they did, although they did get into some early foul trouble. So that kind of threw some things off there. But yeah, and Duncan Robinson only 20 minutes tonight, and Hayward Highsmith. Those are 2 guys that didn't play a lot yesterday versus Chicago that you kind of wanted to play more. They played only slightly more today, but Terry Rozier still played 27 minutes. And he was better today. 8 of 17, 20 points, 5 rebounds. He was way more efficient earlier. Now I see he tipped under 50%. But I'm hoping today's the last time we have to talk about Terry Rozier, and he's out of town tomorrow. But who else do we got here? Tyler Hero today. He was very efficient last game. You love to saw that he got to the free throw line 11 times last game. But this game, you got everything else. You got him going to the free throw line. You got the efficiency back. And he just had a monster bounce back game. 11 of 20 for him. 30 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Was getting to that mid-range late in the game. Was getting to the rim all game, really. I think he only finished with 4 free throw attempts, but he was being aggressive. And then really the story of the game off the bench for you was Nikola Jovic. 23 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 8 of 9 shooting. That guy is the face of the franchise. And y'all wanted to trade him for Kevin Durant? That's me. I'm y'all. Literally, my last 2 videos are about trading Jovic for KD. I'm glad we did it, though, because he's certainly better. And he continues what's just been a really, really good season for him. But big win for the Miami Heat. It's going to be an interesting next day or so. I will be covering everything that happens tomorrow. If anything else happens, the plan is definitely to get a more formal video out about the Heat's acquisitions. Maybe I'll wait until after the deadline tomorrow to make sure nothing's different. I think that'll be the plan. But make sure y'all subscribe so you can stay tuned and don't miss none of the content. The Heat's next game is on Friday at 7:30 versus the Nets. So I'm excited. Overall, am I happy with the trade? Not necessarily. I knew the Heat weren't going to get nothing great for Jimmy Butler, but I didn't want the Wiggins contract. I'll be honest with you. I talked about in another video, I'd rather have the Ingram contract, less money. I'd even rather have the Julius Randle contract, less years, just truthfully. I think with Wiggins, you're mid. I think without Wiggins, you're mid. So I don't think it's worth taking on that extra year just to still be the same team, truthfully. I really did not want that money, but at least the Heat got a first-round pick. And obviously, we don't know how this is going to play out 5 years from now. We don't know how the domino effect will work. So as of right now, I don't love it. I would have rather just gotten some shorter money, truthfully. But we'll see what happens. I am excited to see Wiggins get here because on the courts, I think it's certainly a good fit. And who knows, maybe this Heat team can go on a run and finish, anywhere from 4 to 6 in the Eastern Conference and maybe win a playoff series or 2, depending on the matchup. So we'll see what happens. Make sure y'all subscribe so you don't miss it. Like, comment, all that good stuff helps the algorithm. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out.
Look, pull up in your city trying to get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.